Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let me get adjusted real quick. And before I start, y'all people out there, y'all looking wonderful. Y'all looking fine. Y'all feeling amazing. All right. Well, before I get started, I want to say I apologize because the last video took a little bit longer than I like for it to come out. I had some technical difficulties. I had to get a new SD card and I had to get a new adapter so I could upload to the videos to the YouTube. But now we're back on track. And mind you, now that we're back on track, we're not going to fall off. I'll make sure to, properly plan so that you guys didn't have to wait on stuff like this happening again. Hopefully, nothing like this happened again. But we're good. Let's get started. Well, before we do get started, by the time you're watching this, Valentine's Day is probably over, probably done, it's probably been gone. Or maybe it just passed. But it already happened. I just want to know, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. I hope you had the best time in the world with your significant others, spreading love and being all coupley. I hope y'all made that TikTok. I hope y'all posted that Instagram photo. I hope y'all, sat back and enjoyed each other's company. And now y'all can sit there and talk about all that stuff again while watching me. So, it's good for me, it's good for y'all. It's just a wonderful balance between us both. As well as that, the Super Bowl just passed. By the time you're watching this, they would have already had the parade. There would have already been people out there screaming, "Go Philly, go Birds!" But I digress. My team, we didn't make it to the Super Bowl. We lost, but it's okay. I still am in favor of, the Eagles. Not an Eagles fan, but good props to the Eagles. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to be talking to you guys about what it's like being a retail worker. I know a lot of y'all probably have been in retail or still are in retail, and y'all can relate to how much strength it takes to be a retail worker. The retail service is just a hard thing. It's not for the weak. Sometimes it's not even for the strong. Retail really puts you to it really puts you through the mud. You really have to learn how to just be patient and be understanding, because customers, they really don't care. They don't like you. They don't care who you are. All they want to do is just go in, go out, and just go on about their day. But the way they do that sometimes is the worst. And sometimes you would think didn't their mom raise them right? Don't they have some basic human decency, some morals about how to treat others? But I'm here to share with you guys my point of view when it comes to being in retail. So I've been in retail for a minute. I've had my first full-time job, well, not full-time job, but my first upper level job was at Target, retail through and through. And Target's busy. People love Target. I was a seasonal worker. I worked there for a good 3-4 months because that was the time frame that they allowed me, and I didn't have to do so much of the one-on-one with customers and having to talk to them and point them in the direction where stuff was. But I watched it happen to a lot of people who I work with, and I for sure know that it is a hassle. But as I got through the Target phase and I worked and I bumped up and I went through other retail workers, I experienced it myself. And I tell you here right now, it's not fun. It is really something that, you got to think and just try to, understand the type of mental power you need to, be in that job. People might sit here and think it's oh, it's not that crazy, it's not that serious, it's not as crazy as you may think. It's just simple, human interaction. But that's not even the case. It's more than just human interaction. It's you have to be the utmost civil person in situations where you can't even think about being civil. Situations where you really think oh, if I wasn't in this uniform, if I wasn't in this clothes, me and this person right now, we'd be fighting, we'd be scrapping, we'd be going hand to hand. But I know a lot of people might think retail work is for the calm, for the simple, that the jobs, their 9 to 5s are a lot harder, and some might be for the small majority of people that actually have harder jobs out there that really gotta do the heavy lifting. Don't forget about those retail workers. So let me share with you my instance. So I've been working in retail, a specific job, my Staples. I'm not gonna say where, but it's not too far from where I live. But the Staples that I work with or work at, I've been working there for cool, calm 4 years. In those 4 years, I haven't really had many bad experiences with customers because I'm just a great person. I'm just a great human being. But I have come with like a couple instances where sometimes I really think like, is retail work what I want to do because of customers like you? So I've had like the simple oh attitude customers mad, they want to call corporate, they want to see the manager. Sure, but I've had some worse situations. I've had customers cursing me out. I've had customers throwing things at me, and of course, that's a blatant disrespect. But I can't do nothing. I'm still a Staples employee. I can't lose my job. I can't get fired today. Of course, I thought about it. Don't get it twisted. The lights on. Don't get it twisted. I was right there from blacking out, crashing out, and being fired. But takes a lot of strength. Takes a lot of breathing in, breathing out. A lot of woosah, a lot of meditation, a lot of willpower to just be like, I like my job. I like not being in jail. I like not interacting with the police. But to avoid that, being the best civil human being possible, it's like, wow. Like, just, wow. And to all my retail workers out there who are experiencing this, I can relate to you. Just know, you're not the only one. But yeah, retail work, I'm not going to say I love it. I'm not going to say I hate it. But it does come with the pros and cons. Like, you meet the good, nice customers, the ones that you're like, oh, so great to see them. They're so nice, they're so wonderful. They're telling me about all their lives, all their journeys. And then you have those customers where you're just like, if you speak to me again, this will go really bad. This will go south. But then, we can't really keep that mentality. You got to be like, let me push that out of my mind because I will react and there will be some bad doings. And I know there's people out there who, as soon as they get the chance, will react. There's people out there who will say those things, do those things that they think of. They will be the ultimate crash out at the job. I, on the other hand, I have never thought about being that way. I don't know how good it's going to work for me, but I understand that, like, sometimes it really is that serious. And I know you might be thinking, like, is it really that serious? Like, it's never that deep. Like, they're probably just mad about who knows what, not taking it too hard. But if you're in the moment and you hear the way they speak to you, the way they talk to you, the way they talk down you may think differently. I want those people out here with the big job, the big money-making jobs, the ones who don't do anything in terms of retail, to just sit back and relax and just listen to how serious retail can be. So yeah, I've been working retail for the last 4 years. I've done countless hours talking to customers, trying to help them out, pointing them in the right direction to where they find their things. And of course, you're not going to get like the utmost wonderful reaction from customers. Most times they'll be like, okay, thank you. Or they'll just be like, okay, and going about their day. But then there's always the ones that feel like they're so entitled. I don't even know if entitled is the word I want to use, but they feel like I'm their servant. Like, sure, I can help you point in the direction of what you need to go, where you got to look, or where something may be. But I don't work for you. I don't work for you. But of course, they're not going to think like that because in their mind, they're like, I'm shopping. You work here. This is your job. Do as I please. Like, do as I say, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you have to understand, like, there's a fine line. There's a fine line between I work at my job and I'm also working to help you. But people have to cross that line. There's sometimes no gray areas for certain people. And that's where that strong willpower, that strong mind really comes in handy. I'm going to sit here and say to myself, there's many times where I think, let me crash out. It's okay. Like, it's all right. It's not going to hurt nobody. But then I have to really sit there and think, this really will hurt somebody. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt my job. So I said, I digress. Let's take a time. Let's meditate. Let's close your eyes. Let's breathe in. Let's breathe out. And just bring the levels down. And in some cases, You can't. Depending on the customer, that little breathing, that little meditation does not work. You're gonna have to cut that out. You might have to like walk away. You might have to just be like, you might have to go there. You might have to come off a little defensive in order to just, bring the situation back down to a minimum. But that's like with rare occasions. But again, customers, they bring that little animal, that little demon inside, the little extra crash out. They bring that out, and sometimes they always wonder like, why is this happening? Like, no need to catch an attitude, no need to do this. But little do they know, I didn't just wake up like this. I didn't come to work with an attitude. I didn't think, today I'm gonna get angry and I'm about to get mad. I'm about to be very, very like vengeful. I'm about to be so pissed off at the next customer that speaks to me. Next person that talks to me, I'm gonna crash out. No, nobody just comes to work like that. And if you do, you're the problem. You need to leave the vicinity. You need to find another job. I would suggest, take some anger management classes. Go for a nice peaceful walk, or better yet, go do some boxing. Go do some Muay Thai. Go run a mile. Get that anger and frustration out. Because I don't know how someone could just wake up and just be pissed off like that to the point like you want to yell and argue with a customer. I don't think that's crazy. But at the same time, it is. Because I understand, some people might be mad. They might wake up mad, but for you to stay mad through a shift, it's like, what? How? But again, that's not me. But customers, they do really feel like they do have that upper level of like, you do what I say because I'm the one that pays. Like, they really think like they're the one in charge. Somebody better tell them correctly. Not the case. I think, if customers were to really like, if we were to swap places and they were to receive the treatment that they give off, like to us, retail workers, they will understand that like, this is not funny. This is not how they want to be treated. They will understand that this is something serious, but they don't get it. They can't relate, or at least they can't relate anymore, because at the time when they were working, life was simple. They didn't have to worry about the constant stuff that most retail workers do, because not a lot of stuff was out. Not a lot of retail stores were selling this and this type of clothing and this brand and all these different varieties of items that sometimes us workers be like, what? What are you saying? Like, we don't even know if we have that. What do you mean we have that? I've never even seen that. But yeah, customer, like, being in retail, I, like, really think every person should, like, experience it just once. Because you really get to know yourself if you, like, go through that phase and you get to sit there and experience, like, a one-on-one situation, talking to, like, customers from all over, especially, like, from different age range. Like, those customers that, like, you can relate to, customers that are within you, that you think are within your age range, that you see, like, okay, young, they look like they're about high school age, or even, like, early college, or even college students, let alone, but, like, people that you can relate to. But then there's people that are, like, far beyond that, like, the ones that really cause the headaches. The male Karens, the female Karens, the real, like, grouchy people who just seem like they hate their life, and they just find a way to get rid of that frustration through us retail workers. And all we really can do is, like, roll with the punches or fight back. But I'm not telling you to fight back, but I know a lot of people will fight back. But I strongly suggest, don't fight back. Unless you are able to, I guess, like, fight back in a discreet manner that it's not disrespectful or it's not too crazy, or you just are up there in, like, rankings. If you're a manager and you have that say so to be like, give a little nasty attitude back because you have that power, then go for it. I myself, I never really come to situations where I gotta, give that nasty attitude back. But there's been moments I've wanted to, but then I understand, like, that's just a waste. Like, there's no need. Like, I'm just gonna frustrate myself. I'm just gonna be just like them. I don't need that. I don't need that type of that mental strain. I don't need that, like, change of morale, that change of my mood because they want to be upset about what the sky's purple, or the fact that we don't have this, or because they can't find that item because it says it's online only, and yet they want to shop in the store. That's not my problem. Not my fault they can't read, but again, I have to deal and roll with that. I can't do nothing about it. But again, I suggest everybody should experience it just once, whether it be for like a short time or like for a year. It really builds a lot of character. Like, you really get to know you through your experiences. You learn how to be tough and not let people talk down on you. It's really, I would say, a big confidence booster in a sense. But not really. But like, at the same time, it is. Like, being in retail, as long as I've been in retail, I'm like, okay, I really scratched the surface. I know people who've been in retail a lot longer than me. They've been in retail like all of their life. And of course, they're like up there, they're like district managers, they're like big name corporate people. And they really don't have to do the one-on-one. Of course, they probably read like the reviews and they read the emails and they get like, oh, this customer is mad that this doesn't have that, or this customer at this store said this about whatever. Who knows? But they don't really have to do the one-on-one. But of course, they probably experienced it multiple times. And I would say, props to them. Like, round of applause to those people who stick through retail work years and years and years and years and years. Like, probably back to myself, because I've been sticking to retail for a minute, but the people who've done it like for 10 plus years, even longer, congrats to them, because y'all are really strong individuals. I can't relate. There's moments where I'm like, let me just crack, just right there. Like, it's all right if I, crash out right here, right now, because then I feel like it's justified. If I get disrespected, if I feel like you're going crazy over something that's not that like serious, I feel I should, like, this is a justifiable crash out. My reaction is justified. I think my reaction is very much needed to like help with the situation, even though there's not going to be much helping. It's just going to really, if anything, it's going to bring the situation backwards instead of forwards. But that's just me. That's what I think. But again, not everybody thinks like me. But then again, there's probably some few out there who are like, you know what? He's absolutely right. If I crash out just a little bit, it makes everything better. I get to be less stressed. I get to be relaxed. I get to get rid of the built-up frustration. And all I'm doing is just keeping the same energy with the people who I'm talking to. I think that's fair, but not everybody will see it like that. Again, I don't really care what everybody else is saying, but that's what I do. I might give a little smidge, and like a main customer, I might give them a tiny bit back to where like they might not even notice that they're receiving a little attitude. They might not even notice that they're getting the same energy that they're giving to me. But again, that's just me. I don't know how many people work in like small retail stores like that have to deal with like a little less than like 100 customers a day. But like my store is quite huge. It's not as big as other staples, but it's a big store. There's a lot of room in that store. A lot of people come in and out of that store on a daily. At most, I would say like a good throughout the day, like it'd be up to numbers of 3 or 500 people in that store. And on average, I would probably talk like a good like 100 of them, maybe 130, 150 of those customers I'm talking to. On like out of that, like if I do the math, I would say about like less than 10% of them people are like really angry and pissed off. So it's like you may never have to really deal with annoying customers, but it all depends on where you work. All really depends on how big your store is. Really depends on that person or the type of day. Because there's been days where I've spoken to like rude customers after rude customers, and it just keeps piling on. And sometimes you might just be like, you know what? If everybody's about to have a bad day, I'm about to have a bad day. I'm about to make y'all days even worse. And sometimes you may think that's reasonable. You may think that that's the way to go, but it's not. I know, experience-wise, from just watching it happen, like people that I used to work with, I've seen it happen. Like I've seen the people ready to crash out. I've seen the people ready to go like back and forth. I've watched it happen. I've like literally just sat there and let it like just watch it unfold, because again, I'm learning how to handle situations like that. I don't know the best I can is to just remain calm, but people have different ways of how they do it. Some people like to fight fire with fire, and it just builds into a catastrophic event, and then it's just like, wow, this is just insane. But then there's times where it's like, okay, You watch other people handle different situations, like okay, they remain calm, or they may step away, or sometimes they just keep smiling and keep pushing as they're getting yelled and screamed at. And you may think like, wow, like how do you manage that? Like how do you even deal with that? Like, do you break down and cry afterwards? Some might, but not the ones that I've seen. They'll just be like, okay, like whatever, and they go on like nothing just happened. Like they didn't just get cursed out, or like somebody didn't just say like call them the most like derogatory term or something along the lines of like, wow, like this is just jaw dropping. Like there's always some sort of crazy thing like that always happens, and the reactions that I watch people like give off is just amazes me because I would think in a situation, no matter what it is, if you're getting disrespected, if you're getting called out, if you're getting like talked down upon, you're literally crashing out. You're gonna find a way to like fight that fire with the fire. You're gonna fuel the flame. But in some cases, I've seen just people just sit there, give a good smile, and act like everything is like nice and dandy and everything is just perfect. And I'm like, what? Did I just? Are we in the same reality? Like, did I just witness the same thing that you witnessed? Because sometimes it blows my mind. But I've learned, throughout my life of like working in retail, like being the calm one, it pays off. But for all those who want to crash out, it's not me saying you should, but I support. I'm not going to give you the right way to say crash out 100%, but if you choose to do so, that's on your own accords. But I support from a distance. If you get fired or if you get in trouble for crashing out, do not come to me. Do not report me. Do not come to me. Do not say anything about this video because I wasn't here. All the stuff that you're saying about me supporting you, that's all made up. I never said that. Not once. But again, retail work, not for the weak. And sometimes it's not even for the strong. Because even the strong-willed people, they crack. The strong-minded people, the ones with the most reserve, they will break. The right customer, they will break. Everybody has a breaking point. Everybody's point may be different. But even the strongest people will find a way to crash out. Whether it be like in small little like eruptions or little blows, or it's one major explosion where they literally crash out on that customer like that. And you're just like, wow, I've never seen this side of this person. And I can name a few people at my job right now who I won't disclose. Maybe. No, I won't disclose. But I've seen them crash out, literally ready to, get the business, like, because of some customers. And again, it amazes me how, like, they haven't. But, that's how I learned. I learned from watching them how to stay composed, how to stay relaxed. Because, I tell you, if I had no self-control, I probably would have been fired. I probably would have been like, oh, I'm a nice guy. It takes a lot for me to get angry. I'm not the type of one to just be ready to explode and just scream and just go back and forth with customers. But for me to like really get there, and the fact that I've almost got there multiple times, it's like, wow, like just wow. I really think like some customers, like that's like their job. They want to be known as that customer to just ruin your day, especially at the earliest time of the day. Okay, so mind you, I have a very flexible schedule. Most days I work like from the afternoon to the nighttime, and I'm there till late nights. Most times I don't really deal with bad customers at the nighttime because again, who's angry like that at the night? Most people are coming off of work and ready to go home and go to sleep. I'm at work and I'm there just working. But the people who come at like the crack of dawn, like the early, like the 8 a.m.s or like really 8 through 11, maybe even 12:30 ish. The people that come at that time, like, what is wrong with y'all? One, why y'all not home? Why y'all not taking care of y'all families? Why y'all not sleep? I know my job does not have the credentials you need at this early in the morning. The birds are chirping, like the roads are empty, and you're the first one here. That's crazy. But then it's like you come here early morning, like most people are still not even awake yet, and you're here and you're pissed off. It's like you rolled out of bed and someone just curb stomped you, and now you're mad, and now you find a way to just take that frustration out at people like me. And I'm just like, if that's the case, if that's how you are in the mornings, don't come in the mornings. Come in the afternoons. Come later on down the line. Because it's so annoying waking up and you're already tired. You haven't really slept. And you're at work. You're opening the store. You're doing all those things. And you have a rude customer. I'm going to tell you an experience. So, one day, I think it was like a Saturday for me. I work early on Saturdays. Like I'm there at like 8 o'clock, 8:30ish on Saturdays. I get there and I open the store. We open at 9 o'clock and we work. At this specific time, a customer came in, I think, at like 10:45. And I remember it because I was so like baffled when it happened that I was just like, ain't no way. Like this has to be like made up. This has to be like a fantasy. I must be dreaming. So I wake up, go to work. I'm there. We're working. Not many customers come in. This one customer, this older lady, comes in and she's like, I want to return the shredder. I said, okay, do you have a receipt? Calm, no attitude, no frustration. I didn't say nothing crazy. I said, do you have a receipt? Blah, 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 blah. She says, no, I don't. I said, okay, do you have the card? She says, no, I don't. I said, okay, how do you want to return this then? Because I have no proof that you bought it here. She goes, it's broken. I need a new one. I said, okay, that's understandable. Do you remember how long ago it was? Because we have the access to search in our system, like, I think like within the last month to see, like, if thing was broken or whatnot. Or not broken, to see if your receipts are stayed in there. So we have the access to look up, like, in our system for, like, old receipts or people who forgot receipts or stuff like that. She goes, yeah, it's broken. I think it was about, like, 2 years ago. 2 years? 2 years? I said, ma'am, the return policy is 14 days. Sometimes it might stretch up to a month, 30 days. But minimally, it's 14 days. So even if you had a receipt, if you had the card, if you had all the credentials you need, you still couldn't return it. So I go, did you get protection? Because, we have a warranty, we have a protection plan that you could put on certain things like shredders in case they break down the line. Boom, just call up some people, get a new one, or you get your money back. This is not an ad. This is in case y'all wondering. I'm not getting paid to say this, but this is just the truth. So I go, yeah, if you have protection, just give this number a call. Boom. And she's like, I didn't get protection. I just want to change this out. I just want a new one. I said, well, you can't. So she goes, she takes the shredder, and she goes, throws it at me. I said, wait a minute. I said, am I dreaming? Am I in a fake world? Did this lady just throw this shredder at me? I had to then, take a step back. I take a step back and I was just like, let's take a deep breath. Calm. I kept on smiling because I was like, I thought about picking it up and throwing it right back. And we're about to play hot potato with the shredder. But I said, let's calm down. She might die if I did that. And I don't want to be charged for murder. So I said, we're going to take a step back. She says, I don't want it. Here, I'm leaving. So she leaves. And I said, whoa, I checked the time, and I kid you not, the whole interaction was about like 6 minutes. So it's like 10:52, 10:53ish, and she's gone. And I'm literally just there, just relaxing, like still wondering if what I just experienced was real. And I'm telling you, it was. It made no sense that I really just went through this. So my manager, he was like, oh, yeah, what just happened? I'm like, lady got mad because she couldn't return it, and then she threw her printer at me. He said, threw it? I said, yeah, she threw it at me. And I'm just like, wow, like, this is absolutely insane. Like, I sat there and I was just in total disbelief for like a majority of the day. And mind you, that same old lady, she came back in the store later on talking about how she wants her shredder back. I was so tempted to be like, nah, can't have it back. It's ours now. But I said, you know what? Here, take your belongings. Have a good rest of your day. I could have crashed out right there at that moment. And in that moment, I would have been looked at as a criminal. They're going to be like, yep, he's beating on old people. And I would have been like, I'm not beating on old people. That's self-defense. I was assaulted. But of course, in the works of retail, like, you deal with verbal assault. I hope none of y'all have done with physical assault. And if y'all did, I hope it was on video. I hope y'all can defend yourselves. Because some customers are really crazy. Some people don't really care about nothing. They live their life on the edge. They wake up and they're just like, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to be a menace to society. And they live up to that potential to the fullest. And to y'all who deal with them, I think y'all deserve a raise. I think y'all deserve a promotion. I think y'all deserve 100 bands. Because customers are like, what's a good description? They're like honey badgers. Like, they come off as cool, calm, and collected, but at any moment they can spaz out. And if y'all don't know nothing about honey badgers, I suggest y'all do some research, because those little menaces are absolute demons to the animal world. They stand at like the size of a weasel, but they're about as ferocious as a tiger or a lion. To be honest, I think they fought tigers and lions. Honey badgers are scary. They're not to be messed with. And those are some customers. They're not to be messed with. Like, if you see that the direction isn't going the way you want it, I suggest just taking a step back. Because I would hate for any of my fellow retail workers to go through some terrible experiences. Because customers, again, are ruthless. They are scary and they are unpredictable. At any moment, they can be nice, how's your day, to you're the worst worker I've ever seen, you suck, you deserve to get fired, and more. So I suggest, any customer that's going off and ready to crash out, take a step back. Even if you feel like, oh, you can go toe to toe, I just say take a step back. Because those people who are willing to go the full length, they have nothing to lose. They wake up and like they just drink straight black coffee because they're menaces. Straight black coffee, no cream, no sugar, hot. Burn their tongue for the extra, wow, pizzazz for the morning. Those are the ones you gotta look out for. Those are the ones you gotta think. Let me steer clear. Let me step away. Let me just back up. Because you want to make it to the end of the shift without causing any harm. You want to make it to the end of the shift without the police being there, without the ambulance showing up, without being written up. So to avoid all of that, to the ones that come into your job of work, if you see them and they look like, okay, they're not too crazy, just remember, at any point in time, they can flip that switch and all hell can break loose. Remember, stay aware, stay alert, be on your tippy toes, because I'm telling you, at any point in time, it can be a whole war. But yeah, retail work, again, not for the weak, not for the strong. To be honest, retail work is for nobody. But we got to do it because we have to make that money on. We have to make that paper. We got to get that bag some way, somehow. And retail work is one of the ways to do it because, again, those jobs are always looking for people. But it takes a lot to just be there. I'm not going to sit here and say, we have the hardest jobs in the world. Because we don't. Because there's a lot harder jobs out there. A lot more dangerous, more unsafer jobs. But the retail workers, we know what it's like. We have a hard job. And some people will be like, what? All you do is stack shelves. All you do is just be at the register. And then don't forget, we also have to have human interaction. We have to have some sort of emotional intelligence to go back and forth with customers. We have to know how to talk to other people. And some people can't even communicate as it is now. People don't even know how to simply just talk correctly or just speak without, being confusing. So imagine having to speak proper and correctly to hundreds and hundreds of different people on a daily basis. That takes a lot of skill. So let's not undermine our fellow, retail workers. Let's understand that they go through a lot. To be honest, there should be a National Retail Worker Day, and we should celebrate all retail workers for all their hard work. because I think we, me and y'all, we deserve a trophy. We deserve some national recognition for being, the best of the best. Because we really have to be like, I don't know, like, we say like, we really have to be like the border patrol, well, not border patrol, but like the main people that like we really have to be like the best. I wouldn't say like top dogs, but we have to be almost perfect when it comes to like human interactions. Just because it could be bad for you, it could be bad for them, and no one needs that. The world's already hard as it is. The world's already crazy. It's already like ridiculous. And sometimes you just need to just know how to just handle and make things less crazy, make them less like, and like less. How can I say this? Like less sporadic, less craziness, less like less like more calm than anything. Like being in retail, it really pushes the boundaries of just like simple human nature. Like how far will someone go? You never know until you be in retail, because it's just really a challenging thing. Like especially like holiday stuff. Like past holiday was what? Christmas. Christmas for retail was, I would say, scary. You had lines out the doors. You had customers frustrated with the pricing. You had customers wanting this deal and that deal. You have to be like negotiators. You have to be therapists. You have to be like, I don't know, almost like a parent. You had to be like the say so of like, okay, this is how things are gonna go. This is what we're gonna do. This is how I'm here to help you. Like retail worker, you have to be a whole different person. You have to find a whole new identity. You have to be sometimes the opposite of who you are. Like for me, I know that some people have like I don't say like alter egos when they come to work. Like sometimes they might even go by a whole different name, and it's complete opposite of who they are outside of work. Like at work, they might be the most upleading, like most praised person because of their hard work and ethic. Outside of work, they're probably just like simple, shy, don't talk to nobody. Like they're as about as, what can I say, neutral as it comes. And to those people, you have perfected an identity that you know how to master in terms of work. I'm basically doing through the same person inside of work, outside of work. If anything, I'm just more coherent and a lot more of an active listener at work. Just because I feel like I have to form that relationship with the customer, so they feel like coming back. So they feel like spending more money. In the sense of I'm like the ultimate retail worker. But that's just me. I gotta give myself that praise because I'm still in retail and I haven't left. Even though many people I know have left and they're like, you need to leave too because this is the job. Retail work isn't it. Specifically at Staples isn't it. Not to trash Staples, but we're not the greatest store out there. To be honest, I don't think any retail store is like the best retail store. I don't think any retail store is number one. They all have their flaws, they all have their problems, but retail is retail, work is work, making money is making money. You can't really be pickers, you can't really pick and choose. You just have to roll with it. You got the job, and then you go out there and you do what you gotta do to get that money, get that paycheck. But that's really it. Retail work, it's hard. It's not simple. It's very complex. It basically is like a math problem. For all those math dudes out there, I guess y'all figured it out. That's why y'all don't work in retail. But to all my non-math people, y'all are out there struggling, figuring it out, working your way through it like a math problem to somehow get that end result of solving the problem of being a good retail worker. For those who are still struggling, it's all right. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't. But it comes. There's like ways to go about it to where you can make it a lot more simpler, a lot more funner, a lot more, I guess, well-rounded for you. All I know is that retail work has its ups and downs, but it really does challenge you. It really does build character. It really causes you to be a fast learner, a fast thinker, and just, I don't know, become someone truly different. I'm not gonna say this is the best line of work for many people, but I should say if you really want to learn how to do many things, even learn about stuff that you have nothing to do with. Like I've sat there and I've learned about religion, talking to customers. I've learned about movies. I think my last shift, which was I think a Thursday, I spoke to this boxer, and he was like a real professional boxer. Like has pictures of himself like boxing, his signed stuff like in his house, pictures of him with like old celebrities, like celebrities from like the 60s and 70s. Like he has photos of them like with him. I don't remember which ones, but I can in my mind like they're there. I just can't tell you the names of them because I just can't remember. But like you're getting some cool people being in retail. A lot of stuff that you learn that you probably don't even really know or let alone care about. Like I be learning about stocks at work, and you would think, what? Like how? Like how does Staples have anything to do with stocks and investments? Like, where do you even come up with having that type of a conversation? But it's just like the people that you run into, the customers that are there. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are probably be like the customer, the ones that you'll look forward to continuously coming in and spending money. I think that was my dog outside. But there's the few who are just like, there's the few, my bad. There's just a few that are just like, nah, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm ready to quit. Can't take it anymore. But again, praise to all retail workers. I give y'all a round of applause, pat in the back, a hug, whatever. Because y'all are really the true heroes out here. Y'all really go through like thick and thin to like make sure customers are out here having the best times. I know, I'm a retail worker, so again, give myself a pat on the back, congratulate me and all the others out here because it really is serious. It really is that deep if you really think about it. But yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening, for joining us on this episode. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you all. I appreciate everyone for being here, for just joining and taking the time to just hear me out, to share the experience of being a retail worker. And I will see y'all on the next episode.